Hi. Good morning. Hi, everyone. My name is Linda Heavenor. I will be the worship partner today, and I want to welcome you to Westminster. None of us could have imagined back in February of 2020. March 13th marks the 2-year anniversary of one of the most difficult and also transformational times in recent history. We will acknowledge this turning point through a special worship service where we share with each other our heart-inspired thoughts about the past and the future of this place. All are welcome. Feel free to reach out to folks you haven't seen in a while too, and let them know that this is happening. In order to plan, we're asking people to sign up and let us know if you intend to come in person or online. The sign-up form is being posted in the chat, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Oh, great. And it's on the table over there too. In preparation for that service, we would ask those of you who are here in person, who are able-bodied and willing to help, if you would work with us to rearrange the chairs for that service. We'll be making 8 circles of 8 chairs each, and we'll direct you at the end of service. And we are still looking for a couple of facilitators to help us with that service. So if you have experience facilitating or are interested in finding out more about what's involved, please reach out to Reverend Ellen. The chalice is the symbol of our faith, and our chalice lighting marks the beginning of our worship service. I will light mine and share our reading. Then, if you are online, I invite you to light yours if you have one. And if you like, you can chat the name of the street where the chalice was lit. Today's chalice lighting is by Reverend Suzelle Lynch. Each time we light the chalice, we renew our commitment to our Unitarian Universalist faith. With the spark of a match, we make it new again, as fresh and surprising as the first day we encountered this spiritual community.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ellen Quaadgras, and I am the minister here at Westminster. And I also want to welcome you to our worship service this morning online and as well as here in person. It's really wonderful to be together with you all. In honor of Lent, which began this past Wednesday, as we anticipate any day now the coming of spring, and for everything that calls for transformation, our theme this month is renewing faith. And today we dive into what that implies for living a spiritual life, for being in spiritual community, particularly in times of trouble and times of change like we are in now. I invite us deeper into worship with these words by Rebecca Savage. Welcome, sweet soul, to this place of renewal and hope. Here, we welcome your tender places and yearnings to be fully present. Welcome all to this place of meaning and belonging, where we invite your questions and wonderings on the journey toward wholeness. Welcome, everyone, to this place of compassion and heart. We welcome every part of you. We invite you in as you are and we are. May we renew our connection to the spirit of life with the sacred and with the interdependent web of all existence. Welcome every sweet soul. Let us worship together. And let us join in humming, if you're in person, our opening hymn, and singing if you're online. And Bruce and Nonetta will sing the words. Thank you, Bruce and Nonetta. If you couldn't hear the words to that song, that last verse was, "As tyrants tremble as they fall." Maybe so. Let us say together our unison affirmation that is, I'm not sure if it's found in your order of service. It is. Oh, good. And in the chat online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service our mission. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Camila Bajakowski, and I am a pastoral care associate here at Westminster, along with Sue Bolins and Rob DeLong. While Reverend Ellen is available for pastoral counseling, we are also available to listen and support for anyone who needs a listening ear. Our contact information is in the chat and in the order of service. As we gather in community, we carry life's hurts and its great joys. recognizing that joys shared are multiplied and hurts shared can be lightened. We
honoring all that has been said and that is unsaid, and recognizing in this moment the deep past from which we come and the unfolding ever present and future. I offer as our prayer a version of the 23rd Psalm, an ancient text rendered in words from our time, adapted from Reverend Kevin Tarsoff. Let us gather hearts and minds for this time of prayer and meditation. May I remember in this tender moment that love is my guide always, shepherding me toward ways of openness and compassion. I have what I need with love by my side, above me, below me, behind me, inside every cell of me, love infused everywhere. Just when the weight of the world threatens to drop me, love invites me to rest for a gentle while, leads the center of my soul to quiet, still, restoring waters nearby. And so love quietly sets me once again on its tender and demanding path. Even when the walls close around me and the cries of death echo, gripping my heart with fear and sadness, I know that all will be well, that my soul will be well. Love whispers to me, resting with gentleness and persistent invitation upon my shoulders. Love blesses me even as the sources of my pain look on. Love blesses me from its infinite well. And I turn and notice that goodness and kindness and grace follow me everywhere I go. I live in a house of love that will not let me go. I live in a house of love and always will. Amen. I invite you to hum along if you want for our song and response, Return Again.
Our March recipient of Share the Plate is the Women's Center. The mission of the Women's Resource Center has always been the prevention of domestic violence and to provide support services to individuals in Newport and Bristol counties. Since 1977, Women's Resource Center has been a listening ear, a helping hand, and in some cases, a lifeline to individuals experiencing domestic violence. There is no charge for services provided by the Women's Resource Center. The other half of the offering goes to support all of the other good work of this community. You can donate using the link that is now being put in the chat. If you're here in person, we ask that you use your cell phone to click on the donate button on the Westminster website, or you can leave your offering in the box on the table after the service. The offering will now be given and received with gratitude. Our reading this morning is by Annie Dillard. When people come to church, they should not be handed an order of service with a smile, but should be given hard hats and life preservers. Because church should be a dangerous place, a zone of risk, a place of new birth and new life, where we confront ourselves with who we truly are and who the church is calling us to become.
What if a place like this could save you, change you, make everything better, a little or a lot? Make everything more real, more beautiful, more true. What if a place like this could help you become more of who you are, invite you to courage, and help set you free? What if participation in a community like this that encourages spiritual practice, relationship practice, practices of service? What if practicing your principles with a place like this could begin to change how you experience everything? Recently, I participated in a spiritual experience around thresholds, when an alarm goes off unexpectedly. About change, about reimagining all the transition happening around us as an invitation to step through a door of change ourselves. The exercise had two parts. The first part was look at your past. Reflect on what has gone before, the ins, the outs, the highs, the lows, the good and the hard in your life, not to dwell on any part of it, but to look back and see what stands out. Some pattern or way of being that you want to leave behind, or some important part of yourself that you want to take with you. As you step across that threshold of change through that door that separates the past from the still unfolding future. It was a powerful exercise for me. First, there was a little time to reflect, then to look at a scattered selection of photos, pick the first image that strikes you kind of thing. A photo of two hands barely touching stood out to me immediately. And here's what it affirmed for me, something I was already thinking. I need to actually think less and connect more, prepare less, be present more, worry less, be bold more, less focus on how things look and more on the state of my heart, put relationships first. All great, none of it easy. So then there was the second piece of the exercise. Imagine the future. Here's a door. You're about to step through it. What is calling to you from the other side? What is pulling you forward? What is compelling, important, resonant, meaningful? And what will sustain and energize you when you're on the other side? This time, it was a huge lightning bolt that caught my eye. At first, I did not want to pick that. But then I had the realization that there is enormous power available to me and to any of us. And it is not within my direct control. Our theme this month is renewing faith. It feels very apropos in times like these when so much is testing us. The war in Ukraine, Providence, white supremacists, not to mention inflation and the hard to believe 2-year anniversary of this exhausting pandemic. But to me, this theme also goes back further, much further. It's not just about renewing something today or this year, but can be renewing something that is deeper, older, more powerful than just keeping our heads above water in the present. So what do I mean by deeper, older, newer? There is a cartoon that a colleague of mine shared with me showing two children playing together in a room full of toys. Liz is going to show that in a moment. We'll see if it pops onto the screen. There it is. And I shut off the computer, so we shouldn't get that feedback. What do you want to be when you give up is the caption. Right? Which at first may sound a little depressing and perhaps a little cynical, but I share that cartoon not because I think that giving up once you grow up is the end of the story, but because I think it gets us into another story. A bigger story than the one we've been living, a story that points to the potential to recover something really important from way back when. Because we don't even realize what we've lost, don't even notice all the ways we have given up. We just know that life doesn't look or feel quite as shiny as we vaguely remember it did once long ago. The polish wears off slowly, gradually, as we grow up, as we learn hard lessons and shrink our vision. Maybe we fall short on certain ways we want to be, or maybe others made things too hard. Either way, there's not enough support. We can't seem to hold on to who we really want to be. People around us look really discouraged, and we settle. We compromise, we fall down, skin our knees, literally or figuratively, and it can be hard to get back up. It took me a long time to realize I don't have to stay there. Several years ago, I found myself making commitments to accountability buddies. I ungive up, I said. I ungive up being true to myself. I ungive up being more honest and more real and more connected to other people. I ungive up feeling like I don't know what to do around racism. I ungive up feeling like I don't know what to do around poverty or homelessness or how to be present to it. I ungive up. And then I fall down again and I give up again. And thank goodness for a spiritual community where I am invited, certainly as the minister, I am called to come back to it over and over again, this place where we practice spiritual practice and relationship practice, and we practice service, which I can believe all of that helps us recover parts of ourselves we did not even know we had lost. It all makes me think of a story about a friend of mine. She gave me permission to share it. My friend had been estranged from her sister for years. Their childhood had been difficult. Their parents had been dysfunctional. And when my friend left home for college, she did not look back. She threw herself into classes and new friends and activities, and her desire to escape propelled her for a long time. In good ways and in hard ways that led her to fall down and metaphorically skin her knees. Eventually, she found her way to a 12-step program, which is where I met her. I don't know all the details of her spiritual journey, only that I imagine one day she realized something didn't feel quite right inside. Some being true to herself. Something wasn't aligned. With the support of her spiritual community, she decided to turn back. She had found some letters that her sister had written to her right after she left home, and she read them. They said things like, "It is so hard here without you. These people," meaning their parents, "are crazy. I miss you. When are you coming back?" My friend told me she could not remember a single one of those letters. She's not sure she even read them. And she's pretty sure she never responded. But one day, when she finally reached back, her sister told her something else. One day, when her sister had been 16, she was sitting on the living room floor trying to decide if her life was worth living or whether she should end it. Then my friend walked into the room and told her, completely oblivious of what was going on for her sister, my friend happened to mention to her that she loved her. Her sister told her in this conversation decades later that that had been a turning point, and it changed everything. Some years later, that same friend also decided to turn back toward her brother and her mother. Her brother had cancer. Her mother was elderly and becoming very frail. She chose to be there for both of them, helping care for them in the last year of their life, which, because of her brother's illness, was the same year. And she said, they found each other. I love that way of expressing it. Something shifted after decades apart. They found each other. A precious gift to every one of them. Ungiving up, finding more truth, finding each other. So, what about here? What about now? What about us? The web of connection has gotten a beating these last few years. COVID has shaken up, weakened, and loosened the ties that bind. It's like looking through the wrong end of a telescope. Some of relationships that used to be central now seem small and far away. And that's had an impact on spiritual communities like this one, not just here, everywhere. I think of those pie charts that life coaches want you to make. This slice is my job, this is my kids, here's my friends, sports, entertainment, and this piece is my spiritual life. And for many people these days, that slice has become a sliver. It's happened gradually. The shift from seeing something as important to, like I mentioned in my newsletter article, seeing church as a place where people drink tea and eat pastries and where everyone is just really polite. Once in a while, though, it hits me that without the great spiritual mystery that got us here, those pie charts would not be here either. Not the job, not the kids, not the friends, the sports, the entertainment. Without that mysterious source, none of it would be here. And that great unknown also appears to have the power to dissolve, reorganize, flip our pie charts and our well-laid plans completely on their heads, to upend everything. Us, the job, the kids, friends, sports, entertainment, all of it in a heartbeat or a day. I think of the people of Ukraine, where the bottom has just dropped out of their world. Or people anywhere undergoing war, disaster, bias, or hate. For many, the bottom dropped out long ago. But then I also think of the incredible stories of resilience and courage. Where do those come from? From what source springs the courage of Russian women who, with their young children, went to the Ukrainian embassy in Moscow to protest the war with heart posters at incalculable risks to themselves? From where springs the courage of a president who hears news of a 40-mile convoy, yet stays and projects messages of hope and strength to his people while surely knowing that should he be captured, his fate is completely unknown. Not to mention story after story from all over through all time, people creating beauty, finding truth, finding each other from almost nothing. Whatever the source of that kind of faith and courage and love is, what would your life look like if you were connected to that? I think when we lean in, we may just find that unpredictable, immense, incalculable, fantastic, not to be controlled spirit right here among us. We have an opportunity right here to encourage each other to go there to places of risk and growth, to be, to quote the sermon title, spiritual badasses, polite ones if we choose. And right here in this season of change, we can support each other when the unknown gets too much. We hand out hard hats and life preservers. Life is messy and we need each other. Distance may reinforce itself, but so does connection. COVID may have weakened the web, but look with the heart, and it never went away. And when we reach out to someone who we miss from this place or beyond it, we strengthen their web too. Hope and investment can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. We can find, make, recover, or create a spiritual badass place right here. Like next week, for example, when you will be invited to come and to look back at what has been most meaningful for you about this place, or if you're brand new, about your spiritual journey. What has changed, challenged, or birthed new life in you? What has been a life preserver? Whose life have you helped preserve? And what are you feeling called to become? Who do you want Westminster to become? You can come and speak. You can come and just write. You can come and simply witness with your heart. It's a chance to practice taking a risk. It's a chance to practice investing in ourselves and each other. And it is a chance to practice envisioning a new way, a larger call for yourself and everything and everyone you love. We cannot know the impact even one small act can have on those close to us or far away. May we hear the call and may we answer. Amen. And let us join in our closing hymn. Let us join in our closing hymn. Please rise in body or in spirit.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our God. We are answering the call of love. Beat as one, and emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together. reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Please remain standing for our closing words. As we go forth into this day and this week, let us dare to proclaim a call of love, of truth, of courage, because we are more significant than we usually know, and we can be braver than we usually imagine. And because there is a love within and around us that will find us as we answer its great call. Go in peace. We end with Carry the Flame.